Yo, peace. Here to talk about De La Soul, Stakes is High album. Almost 30 years later, when I go through it, just talk about it. Dive into the tracks, concepts, review some of the lyrics, just see what kind of perspective can be gained after all these years. See if we can get some different context from it. This album was ahead of its time, I feel, when it first came out. A lot of people felt it was a little preachy, but it definitely changed the game for the better. Pointed heads in the right direction. And a lot of the shit that they were saying on that album is happening now. And that's one of the things that if you watch this, you'll discover if you didn't already know. So, we're definitely going to walk through Stakes is High 30 years later. So, I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to rush with this. You know, I have time. Hopefully, you do as well. So, you know, I'm the book zombie, and I read a lot of different stuff. So, one of my favorite books is The Five Principles by Stickman from Dead Press. And this is a book that I always go through from time to time. It's a book that has all kinds of information, recipes, exercise routines, tips for mental health. You know, also it's like a autobiography, basically. So it's a really, really good book. So this is a book that I don't just read one time. I have read it several times and continue to read it. So what I want to do before I even get started with the De La Soul review, if that's what you want to call it, I'm going to read just a short segment of this book. This is the book right here. So if you don't know, this is what the book looks like. The Five Principles. For those that don't know, this is Stickman from Dead Press. So the part that I'm going to read is about building mental and emotional fitness. So it says, we don't have to control our every emotion, and it's not about fighting or fleeing away from what we feel, but we can learn how to continue our flow regardless of our circumstances. Flowing is about first acknowledging how we feel and allowing ourselves to accept how we feel, and then mindfully choosing how to respond to those feelings in a way that's in the best interest of the situation and our inner well-being. We don't have to take on the reactionary identity of what we are feeling. Instead of I am angry, we can reframe it and say, I feel anger right now. This subtle shift in perspective puts the power to choose our response back in our hands instead of being enslaved by automatic, emotional, stressful reactions. Feelings come and go if we let them. We are not our feelings. They happen within the atmosphere of our awareness, but we are the perceiver of the feelings, not the embodiment of the feelings. Our true self remains while feelings come and go. It's as if we are the sky and the feelings are the weather. We can remain above the clouds. And so this is on page 31 of The Five Principles. So this is a really good book, like I said, man. It So, with that being said, what I got from that part is just, you know, always work on emotional intelligence. And one thing I've learned is that emotions look different for everybody. So happiness for one person may not look like happiness for someone else. Love for one person could look like anger for another person. Um, Happiness could look like sadness. It all is perspective, and it just depends on the person. That's why you have to become emotionally intelligent and aware of your feelings. That way you can process them and move accordingly. And if you become aware of your feelings and you have the ability to register your present mind at will, you'll be able to accomplish a lot more than you realize. And by taking that jewel and implementing it to my daily routine, I've been able to master controlling my emotions and gaining emotional intelligence on a level in which now I'm able to almost predict my emotions before they arrive. So I say all that to say, it's very important to read books like this because they can definitely help you gain awareness of things that you may not even realize you may be lacking. So it's just a jewel. Usually, or when I start a video, I want to read a little bit and just start off with a jewel before I get into the content. So that's basically where I'm going with it, right there. So we're gonna take it to the Stakes is High album. And when I first heard this album, I got it from a record store in DC. And I was taken aback because the previous albums that I heard from De La were had a softer undertone. So when I hit play, I heard them basically saying, when was the first time you heard Criminal Minded? To me, any hip hop head, that's gonna automatically grab their attention. So that right there let me know I was in for something. And it was an audio collage of different people saying how they heard Criminal Minded for the first time, and you feel like you were just a part of that conversation. You almost wanted to interject and say when you first heard Criminal Minded. It's like you a part of the conversation from the beginning. Something everybody can relate to. If you listening to this album, you've heard Criminal Minded. That's a safe assumption. So after that, they come in and they start spitting. Pod starts spitting, and to me, one of the standout lines in that first verse was, he says, "Major more so than James' escapism. De La Soul is here to stay like racism." That line right there, it lets you know right then and there, like, all right, they come serious. It's not the quirky potholes in my lawn. De La. Not saying that it's not in them, but it was a different energy from the jump. Just from that line, you already knew when they said De La Soul's here to stay like racism. energy behind that line. You already know. So they set the tone with that intro. You know. So I don't even know. Um, well, I was about to say I don't even know who produced it, but this was the first album that they worked on without Prince Paul. So it's listed as De La Soul as the producers, but from what I've heard, Paz was pretty much handling the production on that album. Now, if you know better, leave it in the comments because that's what this channel is about, is analyzing albums like this, gathering information, and just getting different perspectives and learning new shit that may help us understand the music on a deeper level or educate people that haven't heard it. It's generations that haven't embraced this music. So there's gonna be a lot of young bloods that run into this channel that will watch this video and they'll tap into the stakes is high. So I know a lot of OGs watching this video and they probably like, yo man, I already know this, but you gotta remember it's a lot of people out here that haven't heard this album. So this is important. You know what I'm saying? And so but the next joint after the intro is Super MCs. Now, Super MCs is like one of my favorites. It's a strong, very strong message. And they get their point across with the hook. It's very clear. Like, MCs, like, basically telling MCs, look, man, everybody can't do this. And I feel like now it's more relevant than probably back then. So that song really set the tone. After the intro, it's like, okay, oh shit, we on to something. This was the De La I was really wanting to hear. When I heard Super MCs, I was like, okay, this is the De La I'm talking about. And I knew they had it in them. I mean, we saw little bits on previous albums. We knew they could come. Pause, but we knew they could spit on on a totally different level, not on just some fun, playful shit. Super MCs definitely showed that. So, one of my favorites, man. Super MCs, the hook. Like, the dope part about the hook is how the hook is said. It's like halfway singing, halfway spitting it. MCing ain't for you. Like that's the thing about De La. They don't just say they rhymes. It's how they say it. That's what gets you. So if you listen to the verses on this song, they're not just spitting the verses. It's a cadence to it that's very, very unique. You would almost think they doing a voiceover for like a cartoon or something, like a cartoon intro. That's what it almost reminds me of. Super MCs, even though it's a gritty joint, it still have like a cartoonish type of vibe, slightly. So it could easily, on the hook, like you could easily see that under the De La flag without them compromising who they are. So that's the genius in them on this album is they kept it gritty, but they didn't compromise who they were on Super MCs. So I love Super MCs, man. I love Super MCs. And then Next up, the business. Can't say enough about this song. You got Common on it, and I feel like Dave maybe he could have got Common on the verse. He spit just as good, if not better. And people overlook Dave when it comes to lyrics. On this album, he really stole the show, I think. You go through and really pay attention. Dave, he definitely came through on this album, man. So, rest in peace, Dave. But leave in the comments, man, who y'all think had the doper verse on the business? Was it Dave or was it Common? Let me know. We're gonna look at these lyrics right now, and we're gonna see what we got. So right now, when we pull up the verses, we have Dave's verse first, and we only gonna just quote a couple bars. We ain't going through the whole joint. But the way he start off, I speak divine of God theories, no need to be high. Always excel the facts, cause I don't inhale lie. Play the greater man's game to bounce off my losses, so I can earn the acres, the houses, the horses. So that's how he starts. Then cause I'm the D to the O to the V to the E. And can another brother cook these delicacies? So he spit. He spit. Then comment, do you want to be an MC or do you want to serve? Do you want to be dope or do you want to deal it? Fabricated acrylic, I feel it. I'm the style molester. I do a show, extra P's like the large professor. In fact, I get more hoes than Tessa. Peep game like a referee. Now, just from those bars, as a hip hop fan, reading those lyrics is different from Peace Dave. He definitely went in on the verse, and listening to the song it's a perfect pair. But reading the lyrics is a different story. You can see Common's skill level. You can see where he's at lyrically just by breaking down his rhymes. Like when you hear Common rhyme, a lot of times it sounds a lot simpler than it really is. Like whip anybody ass at NBA Live. Rappers take a dive like Greg Lougianis with his rather be in Bebe's alley than at the click with Gators. Not a hater of the players. I'm more like a coach or an owner. I used to love her, but now I bone her. It's very slick how he's coming. So, pause. But that's a very, very good collab, man. Very good collab. Adding Common on the business. And then, with it being, the third joint, you locked in. So you got an intro with them mentioning Criminal Minded. They coming in with super MCs. And then they got Common on the joint. So you locked in already on the album. You totally locked in. They got you. So it's clearly an underground gritty album that still has substance and is still in the pocket of De La without compromise. They ain't talking no street shit. They're not out of character. They're not reaching in regards to their personality at this point in the album. So at the next joint, you got your non-stop. They don't do this no more in hip hop. Just have joints to where you basically are just shouting out your people. You don't have that no more. And this song is this joint is dope because they dedicated a track on an album to their peoples. And dope beat, they could have used that for a song, but they sacrificed that just to let you know who they down with, who they respect. And nowadays, that's not necessarily implemented in albums. You know, the average MC now is not going to waste a beat to just shout out people. And it's just how it is now. So, next up, you got, once again, Long Island, which is a dope joint. And for people that are from Long Island, I would feel like though that's the target audience. You know, it's really a Long Island joint. It's dope. We love it. But if you're not from that area, then it's really just a good listening joint. You fuck with it. But if you're not from Long Island or New York, it's a great piece of glue for the album. So, you know, I feel like that's one of those joints that is for the people they was around. Like that's almost like a personal type of joint that was on the album, like their crew and their affiliates and you know people that's in Long Island and you know people that came up with them. Almost a extension of the joint before. You know, your nonstop. That's how I take it. It's a build up from that. It ain't like they saying you nonstop shouting out their people and then it's like, all right, we back in the album. Like fuck that. They kind of transitioning from the shout outs. They still kind of in the realm of paying homage, showing love, representing. So it's the sequence is clearly a sequence. It almost feel like they leading up to something at this point. They really setting a tone. They letting you know what they're standing for at this point in the album. So I'm listening to the album at this point. I'm feeling like okay, they really laying down the flag. They putting the flag. They planting the flag, saying, all right, look, we are dedicated to this game. This is what we about. We ain't going nowhere. You know, we pioneers of this shit. And we're not gonna adjust our approach for nobody. That's clearly what is being articulated on a subtle level already. That's what I'm getting from it at this point. And you got the joint Dog Eat Dog. Well, no. You got Dennett. I'm ahead of myself. You got the joint Dennett, which is a real laid back, smooth, just mellow, I just want to chill type of joint. Pun intended. If you heard the Large Pro joint, I just want to chill, you know. You already know. But it's a real good laid back joint. You just vibing, you want to smoke, having a drink or something. You're in a lounge. It's a dope joint. I don't think that they were trying to do a whole lot on that track. I just feel like they were really transitioning, you know, going somewhere in the album with it. So it's kind of keeping the vibe and setting the tone. It almost feels like, all right, we laid the foundation. We slowly transitioning out of this, but we're not gonna just jump into something. It's like they kind of setting you up for something, keeping you. It's like they prepping you for something. It's like we're gonna warm you up before we really give you the real message. That's kind of what I'm getting from it if I'm listening to it. Like, it's real mellow and chill. You know, where the ladies at. It's like a little mellow club type of joint. It's like a club daylight type of joint. It's like some shit. If a daylight vibe, like if you was going out, some lounge. You probably got some Clarks on, a little polo, you know, shit like that. You just vibing. That type of joint. You cruising. To me, that's perfect daylight type of joint. And you got breaks. That's to me just straight up hip hop. Something for the hip hop junkies, the underground heads. Something everybody can kind of fuck with. You got a vibe for everybody. A little gritty, a little soul. Got a little R&B feel to it. They still spitting on it. So, breaks is dope. And then they have the old school feel on the hook. Like, these are the breaks. So they keeping the core of hip hop. They ain't stepped outside of it yet. But they've showed you different angles. So they kind of spoke to the ladies, where the ladies at. They kind of went there. They done talked about super MCs. They shouted out the people. You feel me? They done pay homage to home. So it's leading up to something. That's what I feel like if as a listener. I'm listening to breaks and I'm feeling a vibe of hip hop unity, like a real feel good hip hop record. This is to me like a modern. At 96, I felt like that was a modern day, just hip hop record. Like it was an update of one of the first hip hop records. They took the same core integrity approach, that Cool Herc and, Kid Capri and all them had. And they brought that energy and just put it on that track and just kind of let it organically manifest. They didn't have any kind of angle at it. They were just having fun, being free on that song. And anybody can like that song. That's a song anyone can like. You can play that at a cookout. Your grandmother can vibe to it. That's one of those ones where you can play it around people that don't necessarily like hip hop. So, then they have a message in there at the end. It's kind of like, that's the breaks. Like, they saying little scenarios and shit. That's basically like one part they say, your boyfriend made you a carrier of HIV. That's the breaks. Shit like that. They still slid that in there. So as you listening, you still catching jewels. They still sprinkling a little shit in there, man. And that's the thing about Daylight, man. They always sprinkle in stuff when you least expect it. They can be doing a gritty joint and then sprinkle in a line about anything. You just never know what to expect. They always gonna feed you something. They're never gonna be predictable. It's what makes them great. And another thing about Daylight that I love is that I don't think that the way that they create the records are the way that we receive them all the time. Like, they might write the records with one vision and we might receive it in a totally different manner. That's dope art. So, Mace might see this, which he probably will, and he might say, yo, that's not even what we intended to articulate on that joint. But This is how I took it, you know. And that's the beauty of it all. That's true genius. When you can create something without even having intention of articulating something, and then a listener pick up something that you didn't intend to get off. That's genius. That's real art right there. You still, whether intentional or not, you still relay the message. So you serving your purpose as an artist. You are a vessel. So sometimes you may not even be aware of the message that you're carrying. You may be receiving the message yourself after your album dropped. A lot of artists don't even realize that. They may be the recipient of their own message. If you create your art freely and then go back, I'm sure there's a lot you'll learn. Real. So after that, they bring in the dog eat dog. The first thing you hear is the dog barking, and it's like, what the hell? Got a dog barking? What? Where is this going? And then they start singing. It's a dog eat dog competition. I'll be gone like you're wishing. I love that song, man, because it's so real. And what it says is some real shit that a lot of brothers be thinking. You know, it is a dog eat dog competition. I'll be gone like you wishing. If you know, it's a lot of situations like that, and the dog barking constantly in the background of the song is comical. It's almost like a representation of men and how we trying to communicate with women. You know, you hear the dog in the background, but you don't hear him. It's like kind of how a lot of us feel as men. We heard, but we not heard. So it's a dog eat dog competition. So the lyrics I want to go through on that because there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that is said on that song that I don't think that people caught, myself included. I mean, I want to go through it and see what lines I could have missed. Cause I'm sure it's a lot of shit in there that I didn't pick up. So we gonna see what we can pull up. So we know the hook. If you heard this song, you know the hook. It's a doggy dog competition. I'll be gone like you wishing, cause I ain't got time for hanging around when you fucking my love in all the wrong places. You know, that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, Dave, he has very hidden, like in his mind, a lot without saying it. So, like, I'm sure in here, it's probably one line that can then say everything without it even have to analyze the entire verse. A tear because I'm hearing nothing more particular. As they realistically accept the things you say. I guess a bitch in the batter is gonna make the flavor fatter, but you got to keep it for real. Forget about your jewels. You won't be eating that. So it sounds like he's pretty same shit and go as men. And then Paz, he comes in. I'm gonna pull it up. Pause comes in. Hey kid, what's the word, man? It's all about mind. Keeping focused on himself mechanisms of rhyme. So no longer stand erect cause your thoughts are drained. Walking around manifesting attributes of shame. Like that right there is a hell of a bar. That right there says a lot. And this is what I mean with daylight. When you listening to the song and you just hearing them, there's no way that you probably would catch that line. You wouldn't catch that line just listening to a De La song. You gotta look at this line and really think about it to understand what Paz is saying. That's how dope of an MC he is. So when you naming all of these top five and all of that, you can't even really do it because you have cats like Paz the Noose who his name itself is over most of people's heads. It sounds sop backwards. Most people don't even know how to pronounce his name. They don't know what it means and nothing. So when he's saying shit like walking around manifesting attributes of shame, used to squabble for the mic, but now accordingly we act unless a club can't afford the fee. That's deep. We act so named that any best man to put us under, created from the ground, yet know nothing but the under, know nothing about the under. Come on, man. We act so named that any best man to put us under, created from the ground, yet know nothing about the under. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's stop playing. Stop playing and acting like Daylight is just running around in 96, just playing around on the mic, man. People gotta realize, like, yo, they were saying some shit in 96. In the middle of everything that was going on, man. This is what they were saying in 1996. You know, we had Nas and everybody else spitting, and right under our noses, they were saying this shit. 30 years later, I'm sitting here breaking this shit down like a science project. That's how dope Daylight is, man. And I know for a fact most hip hop heads ain't that long. So yeah, man, like that's why I'm doing this is because lines like that. You go back and look at this and you see that line and you're like, damn, I ain't catch it. You, if I didn't do this, chances are you wouldn't have broke down that line. You wouldn't have had 30 years. Like it's been out 30 years. If you didn't know that line by now, chances are you probably wouldn't have known. You know, that's why we gotta really take the time. That's why I'm gonna take the time to dissect these albums like this, go through them. Cause we're gonna find a lot of hidden gems and learn shit. It's gonna make us appreciate it even more. Love hip hop. This is fun right here. This is some hip hop junkie shit. You know, the next song is called Baby, 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 Baby. And on this one, I feel like this was just them playing around. You can almost hear them. You can feel the playfulness on this song. It's still dope. That's how dope De La is. They could do a skit and it's still in the same range of a song. You almost can't tell if they playing or not. It's up to you to decide. If you want it to be a funny song, it can be. If you want it to be a hit, it can be. If you want it to be an R&B song, it can be. Or if you want it to be a pop song, it can be. It's up to you. That's how dope De La is. It could be a skit. It could be a parody. It's up to you. They could be literally making a. They could have been making a parody of a pop song on there, or it could have been a skit, or they could have been on some like, yo, this how music gonna sound in the future. It's so many ways you could take it. So many ways you could take it. And then Long Island Degrees, rest in peace, Dave. Every time I hear this, I feel like, yo, I could feel Dave's spirit. And I never met him, but I feel like I met him when I hear this song, man. You hear him scatting in the background throughout the song. You feel his vibe. To me, Dave, as a fan, it's like Dave is like an artist or MC that could just say yo on the track, and that be enough. You put featuring Dave on it, and fans gonna gravitate to it. That's how strong his energy is. You can feel it on Long Island Degrees, man. And I know people around him, they may even have a hard time listening to Long Island Degrees because it's so powerful. You know, that's a really strong song, man. It's a really strong song. Bright. Extremely bright. Like, rest in peace, Dave. I gotta sit here for a minute and just give him a moment of silence, man. You know, rest in peace, Dave, man. Incredible MC that was always slept on. But you could put him on a track with anybody. Next up, you have Better Listen. Not It's So Easy. Not yet, man. Better Listen. To me, Better Listen is a great record. It's a good. It's a great filler record, if you ask me. Perfect filler record for a classic album because it fills in all of the blanks. It doesn't stand out. It's not something that gets in the way of other tracks. You gotta have a good filler so that the so that certain joints have meaning. For instance, Long Island Degrees. It stands out because of a joint like Better Listen. Dog Eat Dog stands out because Long Island Degrees is different. But when you listen to Better Listen, the reason I say it's more of a filler, is because yes, it's an incredible song, but you can't compare it to something like Dog Eat Dog because I feel like that's a more relatable topic, and it's something that is directly influencing the listener, whether they want it to or not. Everybody has some kind of attachment to a song like Dog Eat Dog, whether no matter how you look at it, you can relate to it. But when you listen to a song like Better Listen, it's a good song. You know, they talking about being at an outside jam, you know, the chicks, you know, whatever. So it's a good, feel good record, hip hop joint. Feel good hip hop record. I appreciate that record a lot. That's like a great record that you would play at a pool hall. Like if I had a pool hall or if I owned a bowling alley, Better Listen would be definitely something that would be on that playlist. I would play that on a regular basis. It's perfect song for something like that, like a skating ring or stuff like that. You know, joints like that you could play anywhere also. So it's that's what I mean when I say filler. To me, a filler is a song you could play anywhere. It could almost mean anything. It don't mean it has a lower value. That just means it is not as definitive. So that's what I'm saying when I'm comparing it to joints like Long Island Degrees and Dog Eat Dog. I'm not taking anything away from Better Listen at all. Like I say, I love that song. And if I'm riding in the car, that's a song that, with my son, that's a song that me and him probably will connect to more than any song on the project. You know, so yeah, better listen. You better listen. You know, and I could make that an inside joke, like yeah, to my son, like, well, you better listen. You know, they lie, and then it's so easy. Classic, classic record, man. One of those records to where a lot of people have told me they've heard this song, but they don't know where. And they're not even hip hop heads. But I love this song. The hook is simple, but what I get from it is is dope. If money makes a man strange, then what makes the world go round? To me, it's saying, and this is my perspective. This may not even be the way it was intended. But if money makes a man strange, then what makes the world go round? To me, that means, yo, in this world with everything going on, you got people that got money, and most of the time they the weirdest ones. So if they got most of the means to do anything in the world, be whatever they want to be, influence, whatever, and they the most miserable, they the most weird, confused, lost, then what's going on? We gotta rearrange that. What makes the world go round? And if love is against the law, we gotta change the way it's going down. Look around you now. It's like love is against the law. That's what they were saying in '96. If money makes a man strange, we got to rearrange that. I take that as they saw what was coming a long time ago, and it's relevant now. They're like, it's so easy. It's getting hot in here. Yo, you can take that so many different ways, and it's probably shit that we'll never pick up from that. Just that hook, but it's so easy. Somebody send this to Mace. Somebody send this to Paz. Let's see if we can get a comment, or let's see if we can get them to, give us some insight on the meaning of it's so easy. Let's see if I'm accurate with that. But I feel like it's so easy is basically summarizing that you don't need all that money to be happy. Something wrong with these people, you know. And the way they sung, the way Dave sung the hook, man. If money makes a man strange, the way he delivers the hooks is impeccable. That's one of the things on this album that I truly love is the hooks. The hooks on this album are so good. They're so freaking good. They're amazing to me. That's what makes the album, if you ask me. It's the hooks. The verses are dope, but you just see we broke down a verse, and some of the lines we're just now understanding. But the hooks are so simple. You listen to the song one time and you know the hook for the rest of your life. So clearly the hooks have carried this album more so than the verses, even though the verses are dope as fuck. All the songs we know the hooks more than the verses. And that's most De La songs. You mostly quote they hooks. They hooks are so fucking dope. Think about it. Listen to De La and they hooks. They hooks, man. To where they hook so dope they don't even gotta do much on the verses. So it's so easy. They was telling you like it's so many ways you could take it. They basically telling man it's so easy, man. We ain't even gotta. You could take the shit so many different ways. So I love this album, y'all. I really do, man. Y'all can see I love this album. I love it. The next joint is For More, featuring Shanae. Shanae. The 90s, man. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I had a I had a major crush on the light skinned one from Shanae. I had a major crush. Somebody get her, let me interview her. You know, let's set up an interview with. I don't even know her name. Let's set up an interview with the light skinned one from Shanae. Let's make that happen, y'all. Yeah, let's get an interview with the light skinned one from Shanae. Now I'm just playing. But nah, if we can make it happen, let's do it. But I'm you know being lighthearted. But that joint, man, for more it was a hidden gem. That was a '90s joint that represented women in the '90s. When I hear that, I miss the '90s chicks, man. The Reebok Classic chicks with the finger waves and the. I miss them, man. Like, come back, y'all. I listen to this song and I'm like, damn, man, I miss the '90s, yo. I miss, you know, I do, man. And we don't got songs like that no more, you know. It's a good vibe. You feel me? Like you can play this joint, you know, on some vibes, some good vibes. You feel me? This is it's that one. Light you some candles, you know. Yeah, Jeanne, man. Shout out to them girls, them women. Love Jeanne, man. You do a joint with them back in the '90s, you had a vibe. You already knew you was gonna create a vibe with them. But this one kind of went under the radar. It did. It went under the radar. I feel like they should have maybe shot a video for it or something. That would have been dope. Have Jeanne in the airplane looking out. Have Paz on the train or something. They getting off the plane. Paz, I don't know, you know, just something to where they meeting up or some shit. You know, play a role, some real life shit, like connecting the dots. That it's a strong vibe, yo. You could they could have blew that up. They could have blew that up. Put some money behind that. And they could have blew that shit the fuck up. For real. I don't know if they even knew what they had on their hands with For More. You know? So have a remix and throw have a remix and throw Lauryn Hill on there or you know, somebody like that, yo, been yeah, man. For more. It's that shit, man. Yeah, man. Big Brother. Most Def. This was the first time we heard Most Def, if I'm not mistaken. It was on this album. And I honestly didn't even know until I got this album. I didn't even know that Most Def was on it. I found out as I listened to it. I was like, damn, I didn't know Most Def was on this album, But this is another good, solid record. Paying homage, intro joint, perfect way to intro Most Def to the culture. It was like even if it wasn't his first one, it was the first song that we kind of really, really kind of heard him. Like as far as the public, I mean, you know, of course the undergrounds heard him, but in '96 on that album, if you wasn't around New York or really, really in the underground circuit, you had never heard Most Def. So the first time you heard him was on this album. And it's dope because they ain't do a whole lot. So he didn't come in on some extra lyrical shit. It fit the concept. It was perfect de la. He didn't do a lot. Just kept it effective. He played his role exactly how he was supposed to. Now, he still spit. Most Def. If you play that song, you would not know that was when it was. You could have thought that was Most Def in '03. You wouldn't know that was him in '96. That was one of his first joints that came out to the hip hop world. So it was definitely a good feel to hear Most Def on Big Brother with those vibes. Because it wasn't just a song. You know, you could clearly see the connection there. Like you could tell that they had love for each other. I mean, the song Big Brother, and you know, Daylight don't fuck with everybody, especially back then. They didn't do features like that. So to put somebody on there that we never really heard of like that, we knew they had to be somebody. So it was a big statement for them to put Most Def on the album. Then next up, you got Down Syndrome. Now me, I always have said this. I've always said this. I honestly wish, and this just be being a spoiled hip hop head, because the album is great the way that it is. Love this album. I mean, I'm talking about it 30 years later, so you know I love it. But imagine if Most Def was on Down Syndrome. I want my hip hop heads to leave in the comments. Stop right now. I'm gonna look at the camera like, yo, leave in the comments. If you do you think Most Def would have? Do you think he would have went first or last? It's just a random question. I just want people's opinion. If you put Most Def on Down Syndrome, the way that Paz came in, Most would have had to come last. And to me, on that song, it's no way that Most could have got on that song unless he absolutely demolished it. If you think about it now, Paz came in like he was on something. Paz, I was like, whoa, Paz, what's going on, bruh? Who pissed you off? I was like, yo, bruh. Like I really was. Like if I would have been around him, I would have been like, "You alright, bro? Like you good?" Paz went ham on this song. I'm like, "Bro, man, you ain't have to do him like that." Like I know you. If Paz went like that every song, man, fuck out of here, y'all. Dead ass. If Paz literally went like this on every song, like he did on Down Syndrome, fuck out of here. I don't even want to have a conversation with people about who in the top five. Y'all call me whatever. I don't give a fuck. If Paz rhymed like he did on this song all the time, which he can, he just executes what the song calls for. So if it's a simple, playful song, that's how he's gonna come. Pause. Down syndrome called for him to execute that intensity of lyricism. But if he brought it every time, we'd be talking about Paz just like we talking about Black Thought. That's man, Paz went in, yo. I can't say enough. I'm trying to find this verse on here. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute, y'all. Cause we gonna analyze this verse. We gotta see what Paz was talking about on this album. I mean on this song. So I want y'all to really see what I'm talking about. Paz came in like yo man, somebody had must pissed him off or something. So we're gonna pull up the lyrics for Down Syndrome. Hold on, y'all. All right, hold on. Give me a second, y'all. All right, here we go. he's so slick, right? That he's what I took from that is like, cause I've cited you possess no science in your thinking, so I'm gonna never. You're blinking. That's almost like a he jumped at you, like, cause I'm never. You're blinking, like it's subtle. It's real subtle, and that's could be me in my mind, just really, really overthinking. But as a listener, that's what I do. I take it as far as I can. Any little clue or context I could take from it, I run with it, just so I can get more out of the song. As much as I can get out of the song, I take from it because I feel like if you can get it from it, then it's supposed to get it. It's art. So it's not about what the artist intend to give off. It's what you can get from it. If you can take something from it, then that's what it's meant to articulate to you. So what that album or song means to me is meant for me. It might not be meant for you or someone else. So that's so you come on, that was wrong, Pos. You did it wrong on that. That was real low. But it's so slick. Cats probably still don't even know that he said that. So don't fret, kid. I let you lick the love I secrete, yo. Even my foes give me bravos. And that shows total domination in this rhyme complication. Come on, y'all. Like, let me shut them lyrics down before they burn the screen up. Let me take that off the screen before they burn the shit up, man. Niggas can't fuck with pies. Niggas can't fuck with pies, yo. I ain't even gonna sit here and act like it's otherwise. Cats cannot fuck with pies. One day I'm gonna interview him. Speaking that in existence, I'm going to interview Mr. Sound Sop. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Oh, I'm gonna interview him. This is it's gonna happen. With all due respect, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of being patient and timing and alignment. But it's manifesting as we speak. We'll talk about this verse and we'll get more insight when I interview Mr. Soundsop in the future. And I'll use this video. What I'll do is take parts of this video and use it as the promo reel. By the time we do the interview, it might be a while, so who knows? I may have several videos I can clip up where I'm talking about day live something. I don't know. But that was just me manifesting the Paz interview, y'all. Pony Ride. Pony Ride, man. Yo. This song is real. It's a very important song. Very important. And I feel like it speaks for a lot of men. A lot of men. The hook. Just stop taking me for a ride. All I want to do is take my time. Just stop taking me for a ride. All I want to do is take my time. You know, when you break that down, right? It's like, and this is what I get from it. Again. But when I break that down, it's saying, stop taking me for a ride. Like, stop leading me on. Stop gassing me. He even said it in the song. Stop asking me. Like, it's saying, yo, just keep it a buck. Don't gas me. And that happens a lot. And I feel like, I'm gonna just say this briefly. I think a lot of times, like this song, it says, I just want to take my time. You know, I feel like a lot of times, maybe as men, if we are able to just take our time, then maybe relationships will work a lot better. That's what that song is kind of saying. It's like, yo, I don't want to go that far. You know, insinuating like, yo, you moving too fast. Slow down, man. On a pony ride, like it's all over the place, man. Like Mercury and water, we just don't blend. It's so many lines in this shit, man. This song, this is one of the ones that people should go back and listen to. This is it's no songs where a grandfather sit down with his grandson and listen to it with him and explain the lyrics. Like, listen, son, this is what this song means, man. I'm gonna break this down. Like me, that's go through some of the lyrics if it'll come up. Shit back in the man, just like last time. So if we can't get it right, we just gonna say fuck it. And because of the content that I'm speaking on, it's probably not gonna work. Okay, there you go. Cool. So yeah, on the verse, like we just gonna touch on some shit. 8 years of man mommy, but my own want a debit. Tossing facts and how they axis don't spin on a limit. Ain't no need to dwell. To hell with faking your jacks. Ride niggas get to sit into rear, so play the Parks and Rosa. Suppose I have my whole life on it. Funny how those you love the evil they do. I took the juice because I'm used to one way. Detours and destination of ways in life. I pretends the knife stuck in my spine will be a symbol how Jack could be nimble, but it's time to make that foggy vision crystal. We got to get the crystal, right? Yeah. And then Truth Nola. Shout out to Truth Nola, man. I love his verse, man. Go that far. So listen, while you risk it leading love, leaving love loud faced in the vehicle of mine, bruh. Shout out that man. Shout out. Don't wanna go that far to sell my soul. I ain't gonna go that far. I'm taking minds and hearts beyond the shining star. Raw dick, honey. I don't wanna go that far. Yo, truth, man. That's like Mercury and water. We just don't blend. I end the game technically. You want to stop me. True gems, so affection like Jody Wiley. So you know what I'm saying? That whole song right there speaks to men who've been through a lot, and I feel like it's with everything going on with this so-called war, men and women. It's nowhere as bad as the media. It's not that bad. People making it worse than what it really is. There's plenty of married people out here, people in relationships that's happy. But this song is bringing light to a lot of situations that are happening today, going on today. In, in this manner. This is what we need in hip hop. We need lines like this. Raw reality against mine. Sick of leading love, sick of leading love, leaving love loud faced in the vehicle of mine. Them want to do awards being 9.99. We need rhymes like that. And things you just can't say and articulate it and it be respected and understood the way that it should. But when you say it in a rhyme, it come off different. And that rhyme right there, Truth Enola said some shit that we could say it in regular conversation, but it wouldn't hit nowhere near as on point as it did in that verse. I went and found that man on Facebook. That's how much I fuck with Truth Enola from that verse. So salute to that brother. This one made the album, man. This Pony Ride was one of those joints. And then Stakes is High. You'll see Dave on a pony ride. If you pay attention in the video on Stakes is High, you'll see him on that ride. Like it's little shit like that, you know. Just pay attention, man. This is a really good album, man. It's a really good album, y'all. Like Stakes is High, man. This is a classic hip hop album. Talking about it, going through it, reviewing it. Might have to say this might be top 10, maybe even top 5 most conscious records in hip hop. Because they stayed on par the whole album. Like, I feel like they core what they set out to say on this album. And they went different lanes, came from different perspectives, but overall it all still kind of said, still said the same thing. And overall it's basically saying get your shit together, get your life together. That's what Stakes is High is saying. Get your life together. To me, that's what I got from this album. That's why it lives with me to this day. It's a reminder. It's like, get your life together, man. Stay on point, focus. Very subtle way you catch a line here. And that line can reflect a whole aspect of your life. And then another line might reflect this. This song might reflect this, you know. This album can be dissected and really taken so many different ways that it's like a book to where you can take bits and pieces and apply it. This is how I learn from albums. The same shit I'm doing now. This is what I do with a lot of music. And just like you get information from a book, you can get it from an album. And it might be one line where they're talking about something and you may not know what they're talking about. And you do research from what you learned on that one line. And now you got subject matter. And you find books on that. That's how you tap into literature through hip hop. When you're listening to music, listen to what they're saying, the content, and if you find content that's intriguing you or you feel like can enlighten you, take that and find literature and dig into the literature. So you don't reading, to me, it's not like you have to step outside of who you are in order to read. If anything, you dig deeper within yourself to find out. And I think that's what messes people up. They feel like when they read, they gotta give a piece to themselves up and fight something. And that's truly deep, and you go. And the more you read, the more you learn, and the more intrigued you get about yourself, and you just start stacking pieces more and more. And before you know it, you build a whole vault of knowledge that's sacred to where you one philosophy. You can't even define it. You can't say it's from everything that applies to you, and you use it how you need for your life. We all are different. So we can't pull from the same exact source and get the same exact resource and expect the same result. So we have to figure out the formula that works best for us. For me, I know that hip hop is what wakes my soul up. So it's like a bank. Anything I need, I can go to the bank of hip hop and get. And I can take that and use it in life. Anything I need to know, hip hop can kind of lead me into it. It's not like I'm going to hip hop for answers, but hip hop can lead me to answers. So, a lot of things I've went through, the same experiences are spoken on the records that I like, which inspire me. And a lot of times, those same artists speak on subjects and things that help you overcome those situations. So, I'm saying all of that just to say how a song like Pony Ride can step outside of an album into you, and how you can apply it to life, and it can elevate you. Something just that simple, you know. And it's all tied together. You it's like you're doing your work, your self-help work, but at the same time you embracing your leisure at the same, so it's really dope when you find what you love and you can tap into what you love and get what you need. You unstoppable. And it's a lot of hip hop heads out there that don't know the power that they have. And all they gotta do is just use the resources within hip hop and pay attention to the jewels that are right in front of them. Just like on this album. So we went through this album and, we learned a lot. I ain't even gonna necessarily say we learned a lot, but we got a good perspective of the album. And it would definitely give you a different experience listening to it. I would say that. So imagine how much you can grasp from other albums that you are drawn to. I'm drawn to this album. But if you take one of your albums that you really, really love, that really speaks to you, and you really dissect it, probably gonna find all the answers, or a lot of the answers that you're looking for outside. That you exhausting yourself, you just stressing yourself out, and the very things that you're embracing to get away from those problems are the things that help you overcome. No, it might not make sense to some, but it'll make sense to those that it should. And they summed the album up with "Stakes is High," and this is like that revealing moment. It's like that moment where it's like we led you to the water. Now it's up for you. It's up to you to drink it. We gave you all of the juice. We gave you all of the steps and hints and everything. But this right here, we just gonna tell you straight up. We're not gonna hint around. You should know by now. We giving you all of everything except just told you up front. So with Stakes is High, we just gonna let you know one more last time, but clear what this album is about, just in case you didn't catch what we've been saying this whole time. That's why Stakes is High is such a big record on the record. Dilla produced it. The video is dope. It's the album cut, the content. It summarizes everything they saying on the album. So Stakes is High, man. I truly say this album defined a new, I can't even say era, but I'll say like a new world of hip hop, because it's almost like what they saw in 96 is what's happening now, but the music now is reflecting what was going on back then in a way. And it may not make sense, but back then they were speaking out against the same shit that's happening now. But now we don't necessarily have those messages. So it's layers, man. It's layers. You could look at Stakes is High, and you could say it was ahead of its time. You could say it was for its time. You could say it's timeless. You know, this album is one of a kind, man. One of a kind, yo. You ask a hip hop head about Stakes is High, and it's gonna define who they are truly. That's one of them albums you ask them about. Somebody talking to you about hip hop, and you trying to read them, and you want to see where they really at with it. You ask them about Stakes is High. They kind of stutter like, I think I heard it. They ain't really. They don't know. If you heard Stakes is High, you know. You gotta know. Stakes is High. Just the name of the album, man. You want to know. But enough of that. I ain't about to sit here and talk y'all to death. I got through the album. I got one more joint, and that's Sunshine. And they ended it off. It's kind of like a goodbye, y'all. We did it. It's like we walking off the stage, man. Deuces. It got a nice vibe to it. It's bright. It's like a sunshine. It's like it's over. After all of that teaching and preaching, and we did it. We did our job. Now we can get back to life. You know, we served our purpose. So that's the album, y'all. That's how I take it, man. It's a masterpiece for a hip hop head. So it's the Book Zombie. If you sat here with me, I appreciate it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share, like this joint. Do what you gotta do, man. Stay tuned for more videos like this. I think the next one will probably be Illadelph Half-Life. But we'll see. Leave in the comments if it's an album that you would like me to talk about. And it's a possibility that I'll do that. But tap in, leave some comments. Let me know what you think about Stakes is High. What's your favorite tracks? What do you think about Dog Eat Dog, Pony Ride, Super MCs, Four More? Give some feedback on those joints. I don't want to just see fire emojis. Like let's dialogue. So I salute to y'all. Peace.